We're going to win this game.
Are we?
We're going to win this game.
We,
the state of Texas.
we.
The state of Texas is going to pull out a
Got a mouse
dub
in your pocket?
in this one. We are going to win this game. It's time for a rousing game.
We.
Cowboys win because Cowboys. You got a little Tourette over there? You just got one Tourette
You
going
keep
on?
saying we. I'm like, who is we?
Cowboys win because Cowboys lose because Jesse Holly.
Cowboys. Can we start with the lose first?
I mean, if you want to, Joe Mixon
Mixon,
go for what did you give 250,
50 yards and
three
2
touchdowns.
So, I don't think Joe Mixon goes. I don't think Joe
Mixon goes for 150,
and two touchdowns. I think that's definitely possible. Yeah, but the Cowboys win this game if you have a turnover-making worthy performance from the defense. I don't believe that there's anything that they can do offensively that will give them a chance to win this game. But when you look at what the Texans are on their offensive line, leaky bunch. They give up a lot of opportunities. I know that we've been getting on Micah for the things that he's been saying in the media, but Micah is that one player that by himself, he's able to create enough havoc. He's able to create turnover-worthy plays. He's the one guy that when you put him on an island one-on-one with people, unless it's Lane Johnson, he can get to the quarterback. And C.J. Stroud hasn't been playing his very best the last couple of weeks. He's another one of those young quarterbacks that can sometimes be a little bit loosey-goosey with the football. And if Micah, if Damarian Overshown, if Trevon Diggs, if that group of guys who you need to step up, the money guys can step up and create a couple of turnovers, the Houston Texans haven't been scoring a bunch of points. So if you can go and get yourself, maybe 10 points off of turnovers, a touchdown and a field goal, because if you created some turnovers, I think that puts the Cowboys in enough of a competitive atmosphere where things can kind of go their way. The football guys, football is a weird lady, can kind of shake a little shimmy towards the Cowboys, but it's going to have to come from the defensive side and maybe shades of what the defense was when Cooper Rush was winning games in 2020.
Whatever year it was. That one time.
100 years ago.
When the Cowboys was creating defensive turnovers and getting defensive touchdowns, I like to see the group all go down to the end zone together and do a little pose because they created a defensive touchdown.
Clarence Hill, Cowboys win because Cowboys lose because?
I'm going to piggyback on his.
Boy, you just love to copy Jesse.
No, I don't. I mean, I was thinking about it. I mean, you got to get
They come to see you, Otis. Sorry.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what that means?
Is that
wow, I thought he was black. You told us he was black.
You did tell he was a black man.
You told he was black.
Man. If
you told he was black.
If you don't know that reference, we're pulling your black card.
I am a black man.
Pulled.
Yeah, I'm a black man.
You got a black shirt on.
I just don't know that quote. and I feel safer when I get pulled over. But outside of that.
Anyway, temptation.
That's sad.
Sad. Get to the quarterback. I mean, the Texas offensive line is horrible. And Micah and Demo get to the quarterback, create some turnovers. Obviously, you need those turnovers. I think that's the difference. Also, I would add special teams touchdown. It's time for Turpin.
Turpin time.
Turpin. You need. Because we know they're not generating anything offensively. Okay, themselves. They need help.
He got his eyes fixed.
It helps. He can see. If
he got his eyes fixed.
He can see now. Yeah,
he can see the right way to go.
Hell, if he could see right a couple of years ago in San Francisco, they may have won that game.
Didn't have his eyes fixed.
You didn't have to take a shot during Cowboys win because.
I'm just saying. Yeah. Anyway, time for Turpin to hit the end zone. I think if they're going to win, they need help on offense from the defense and from special teams. Cowboys lose because
Joe Mixon goes for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
The funny thing is that's a narrative. Listen, it's funny to me, damn it. It's funny to me, but it's funny to you or not.
It better be funny.
Because it's funny to me. It's funny to me.
Go ahead.
We've been pushing that Joe Mixon or that running back narrative. How about the turnover narrative? How about they turn the ball over 5 times again?
Yeah, that would be bad.
2 games in a row.
It's not funny.
It's not funny.
It's not. You try to make it funny
because
you said
me.
it was funny.
Interesting to me. Curious to me. Whatever word you want to use.
You don't say funny to you. You say, what's funny?
But obviously it's funny to me. And the fact that we keep pushing because they give up so many rushing yards, they also turn the ball over like nobody's business.
Yeah.
They will continue. If they continue to turn the ball over like nobody's business, they're going to lose the game.
Jesse, do you think that if you call him out every time he starts a sentence with that crutch phrase, that you'll break him of it?
Can't break
Public
me.
shame him.
I don't know if you can
I'm
break
not
him.
Public shame
It's
him.
not a shame
Every single
issue.
time.
It's not a shame issue.
I'm a public shame him.
Funny to me.
Aisha, Cowboys win because, Cowboys lose because?
Cowboys.
That's right. You were muted yesterday, Pop. We didn't hear from you.
Ain't nobody asked you, Jeff.
Cowboys win because, to y'all's point, Zimmer finds some favorable matchups for Michael Parsons, also a Diggy Carl Lawson, Chauncey Golston along this Texans offensive line. They're struggling specifically on the interior. You can attack the right tackle as well. Cowboys lose because
Joe Mixon rushes for
150 yards.
No.
No.
She's going a different direction.
Yes, Cowboys lose because Nico Collins returns, and you see that 22% drop in CJ Stroud's completion percentage go back up because Nico is such a threat with his deep play ability and his abilities, yards after catch ability. He really does shape their offense in a way. So, I think that's how they lose the game. Nico Collins says, remember me, Cowboys secondaries struggled periodically this last couple weeks, and I think that's how the game is lost.
Speaking of Nico, like PFF still has him ranked as like the number one receiver, like grade wise in the league.
Your grade can't go down if you don't play.
Right. But even when he was playing, he was averaging over 100 yards, like 117 yards a game, 100 something like that. He's like 17 yards per catch. He's the big play, big target. He stretched the field for them vertically.
Yes.
Like he gives them that. I think what we saw from CJ Stroud early in the year and that offense, you were able to see Stefon Diggs, but Nico Collins was the reason and that offense flowed.
Yeah.
And then not having him and then losing Stefon Diggs, they leaned more on the running game. You saw the points go down. You saw now more pressure being put on CJ Stroud to be to overcome all of the losses and have a bad offensive line at times. So I think Nico coming back will definitely give this offense a spark.
And I'm interested in who they started left cornerback because Kalen Carson got benched last week. He also was on the injury report yesterday. He didn't practice. He was shoulder illness.
Run Izzy out there. Let's have some fun.
Seatbelt.
Yeah,
Izzy out there. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, I wanted to add on to what you were saying about Nico. Obviously, his injury has had a trickle-down effect. And so you've seen Tank Dell doing a lot of the things that Nico was doing. They've been using him as the speed option, vertical guy, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, he has not stepped up in fantasy without Nico, I'll tell you that.
Well, his money, that's my point. His money is made in the slot. And another guy that came up on the injury report, which I don't know if you got a chance to check into, was Jordan Lewis. So I think that's going to be an important matchup within this game if Tank Dell is going to be able to go back and maneuver the slot, which is where he makes a lot of his money.
Saw Jordan practice yesterday. He was working. He's running. He should be good to go. I mean,
that's good to know.
They're being cautious with him, but he should be good to go.
That's good to know because I'm telling you that Tank Dell's. We already know.
It would be really helpful if
How he
Jordan
gets down.
took a week to get right.
Tanker.
I'm gonna step on your toes.
Tanker.
Honestly,
I think Jordan Lewis is one of the most likable guys on the team.
He's a great
and
guy.
I hate to see him in pain.
So
I would like for him
He's a great
to
guy.
feel his
He's not a
best.
12-letter cuss word.
I'd like him to feel his best.
He's a great guy.
Cowboys lose because Joe Mixon goes for 150 yards and two touchdowns.
Yes.
Cowboys win because Brandon Aubrey kicks 4 field goals from 55 yards or further.
Wow.
That's 12 points.
And that allows you, but he also kicks some from closer. So that'll get us to 18. We'll win this thing 18-17 on 6 field goals, 4 of them from beyond 55, 3 of them beyond 60, 1 of them from 70. So that'll be fun. What?
70?
He got it in there.
All right.
He got
He's got 70 in there.
Got that dog in.
And when you
Can
have
I pet that
you have
dog?
the X-ray, he's got a pit bull right here.
Can I
Right
pet
in the
that
quad.
dog?
Yeah. So Brandon Aubrey kicks a bunch of real deep field goals. Rico Dowdle goes for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Rico has not had a game this year more than 90 yards. So that'll be a first for Rico. Right. And it would break the streak that the Cowboys had. I think they're up to like 24 games now that they've had a 100-yard rusher.
Since 2023, 2020, it was Tony Pollard against Green Bay. He did 114. I think it'll go back to 2022.
Wait, is that just like on the ground or all purpose? Because I think
On the ground, just rushing
yard.
yard.
Rushing
yard.
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't hear that part.
The Texans' defense is really good, but they're better against the pass and pass rushing than they are against the run.
Can I add one thing before you go to the defense? Is that a part of your Cowboys?
I'm sorry. I really thought that
it was your turn.
That it was my turn.
Yeah, it was your turn.
Oh, my gosh.
You've done that.
I thought.
People done that to you. You've done that. It's his turn.
You're the most habitual.
But you are
We're
an
talking about you.
ex-NFL player who I have a lot of respect for, and we're friends.
Y'all
So I
just
think
fight.
whatever you want to add
I
will
can
add value and be important. So
Wow.
I can add after you. Go
no,
ahead.
what did you have?
I was just gonna say before we go to the defensive side, I think one of the things talked about Bobby Slowick, right, and how he was a hot name, and it was like Bobby Slowick and Ben Johnson in that conversation. I think a little bit of his kind of golden boy offensive coordinator Collins took a little bit of a hit this year, the way that the offense has been playing. I look for him to kind of get back in his bag a little bit. The Cowboys are that CVS, that Rite Aid. They give you that opportunity to right your wrongs, and what he does offensively gives the Cowboys defensively a tough time.
And you think that somehow helps my Cowboys win because?
No, I was before you were saying something about defense. Before you left the office.
Because I have a list of how they win.
Now you have 45
now you got
seconds.
45 seconds to tell us.
I have a
It took
list.
all your time.
Micah Parsons has 3 sacks because they don't pass protect well, and he has the opportunity to get those 3 sacks because you're able to slow down their running game. Because while Joe Mixon might have a bunch of catches and the totals add up, they're not an efficient running team. So you can stop the run or at least make it competitive without loading the box. The Texans have to play balanced offense. They can't block Micah Parsons. He gets 3 sacks. Aubrey kicks it from 117 yards. I don't know how that math works out. You score a bunch of field goals, and Cooper Rush completes a pass that goes more than 10 yards in the air. He's 4 of 20 on those so far this season. The worst that's possible in life.
Good job of getting all that in 45 seconds.
Thank you.
Because Jesse took all your time.
Thank you.
We all silly like the mayor.